Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and today Wizards of the Coast actually previewed two big products for casual players that will be going out to not only LGSs but big box stores. These products are the Magic Game Night, which we'll look at in full detail. There's 5 decks included. We have all the deck lists and everything. And we'll also look at the new gift pack that will be coming out. Now, quickly before we get started, just a fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to help support what we do here at the channel. Our Patreon page is down there. You're also going to find links to products on Amazon. If you make any purchases on Amazon, once you go through that initial link, no matter what it is, we'll get a small percentage for the channel. Finally, Flipside Gaming still offering a promo code for our viewers. Hopefully you can save some cash while you support us. And with that being said, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers who all make the channel what it is. So thank you, and let's get into it. Let's begin with the gift pack. Okay, well, last year's gift pack, I won't lie to you, it was kind of a dud. Is this one any better? Well, let's take a look and see what we got here. So it looks like they tried to put a little more value in here for the retail price of $19.99. You're going to get a spin down die. You're going to get 4 booster packs this time instead of 3 like they had last year. Now, the 4 booster packs are all Magic 2019. You're going to get foil lands, so we'll look at those in just a moment, one of each type. And you're going to get 5 brand new cards that have never been printed before, and you can only get them here. They will be part of the Magic 2019 set technically, so they will be standard legal, and they will rotate with that set. So I know that's a controversial thing. A lot of people do not like the fact that Wizards is doubling down now on printing cards in certain places that you can only get through one method. And here's another example of that. Personally, I'm okay with it as long as they are casual cards and designed very casually. And, spoiler alert, these fall under that category. But I do worry about either a misstep that could occur. We kind of saw one already, I think, with Nexus of Fate. Or else perhaps just where this could lead down the road. So, anyway, that's my personal feelings on that out of the way. Let's look at the product. Like I said, it's going to be $19.99. And it will come out on November 16th to local game stores as well as your mass market stores, which is like your Targets and Walmarts. Alright, let's look at these 5 unique cards. The first one is Angelic Guardian. This is 2 white and 4. It's an angel. These are all designated as rares. 5/5 flying, and whenever one or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestructible till end of turn. So you're going to notice a thread between all 5 of these cards. They're all costed in such a way that they're not going to light up the world of standard or anything like that. They are very casual cards. But they're not unplayable. Like, I would throw this in some commander builds, maybe if I'm trying to go wide with a lot of tokens or something like that. This could have some utility there. Not the best card, maybe, but definitely playable. Angler Turtle. Here's another one that fits the same category. 2 blue and 5. It's a turtle, 5/7 with hexproof. Creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able. This would be really interesting in a Pillow Fort deck in Commander. Now, outside of that, for the casting cost, I don't see it doing very much. And is it the best Pillow Fort card ever? No, probably not for 7 mana. But if you're going to sleeve up 100 cards, I don't think this would hurt you. Vengeant Vampire. 2 black and 4. It's a vampire, of course. 4/4 lifelink. And when this dies, destroy target creature and opponent controls and gain 4 life. Again, there's a lot of tribal vampire decks right now in Commander, and sometimes people are looking for different unique cards to put in there. This one, it has lifelink. It gives you life also when it dies. So a lot of times life does matter in those type of decks. And if you have a sack outlet, you get a little more control over the ability. Again, is it amazing? No, but it is playable. Immortal Phoenix, 2 red and 4. Surprise, surprise, creature type Phoenix. 5/3 flying, and when this dies, return it to its owner's hand. Maybe my least favorite of the 5. I mean, sure, you can use this with some sacrifice for benefit effects in Commander, and it is a renewable resource, and you don't necessarily want to overlook that, but it is kind of slow. I mean, it costs 6 to get out. It's a 5/3 flyer. It's persistent, but it also is very fragile with a 3 toughness. At least it does have flying. Haste would have gone a long way here. I kind of wish the card had haste. I would feel a lot better about it, even as a casual card. But also, when it dies, it doesn't like come back to the battlefield. It goes back to your hand. You have to cast it for 6. Without the haste, it just feels really clunky. So again, there are some decks that could play this and probably find some advantages. Most of the time, though, this one isn't very exciting. Rampaging Brontodon. 2 green and 5. It's a dinosaur 7/7 trample. When this attacks, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each land you control. Now, there's a lot of Commander players out there that are looking for dinosaurs to throw into a dinosaur build. Sometimes it's hard to find good ones. This one's actually pretty decent. It costs 7. It's a 7/7. It has a lot of board presence. It's going to attack in for quite a bit too, because you know you're going to have a lot of lands. I mean, worst case scenario, you're attacking in probably with like a 13/13 or 14/14 trample creature. That certainly is not bad. So again, is it an amazing card? No, not necessarily, but very, very playable in some builds in Commander or casual games. I think it's interesting what they did with the design of these cards, because not only will people want to pick up these gift packs because they want to give a gift to somebody who plays Magic and maybe they don't know anything about the game, which is what happened with most of the gift packs from the previous year, but also there's some players that might actually buy this for themselves if they like one or two of these cards for Commander decks. Like I said, I'm not necessarily trying to squeeze these into like competitive serious Commander decks, but casual ones, these cards are just fine. Here's the 5 foil lands that will come with this, and being lands for Magic 2019, they probably look familiar to you, but a lot of people do appreciate the foil lands. Now, overall, my impressions of the product are, it's better than last year, but it still feels a little flat to me. I like the design of some of the cards for casual play, like I've been saying, but at the same time, I feel like I'd rather just take the $20 and buy the 1 or 2 cards I might be interested in on the secondary market. And as far as the 4 packs of Magic go, well, that's cool, but it's a dice roll. I might hit something awesome like a Nicol Bolas, or I might not. So I'd rather just save my money and buy singles as opposed to buying something like this. Now, if somebody gave this to me as a gift, I don't think it would sting as much as the one last year. So I would probably appreciate it a little more if I got it in that capacity compared to what we were getting in the previous one. For what that's worth anyway, but still, it doesn't feel like a stellar product to me. All right, let's talk about Magic Game Night now. We've seen this type of product before. This is the product that comes out every year that is a Magic product that tries to disguise itself as a board game in your Targets and Walmarts for the holiday season so it can fit into the board game aisle, basically. So I don't mind these products. I actually like them, and here's why. Basically, you're going to get 5 60-card decks in here. We're going to look at full deck lists in just a second. You get all the accessories. So I can just buy this, put it in my closet. My friends come over, and I have a lot of friends that used to play Magic, don't play anymore, don't have decks assembled. We can sit down and just play casually, talk about the old times, play Magic and such, and that's it. I put it away when it's over, and I just have it if I need it. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, that's not for everybody. Not everybody needs that experience. But if you do need that experience, this is not a bad way to get it. Now, the type of cards you're going to find in these decks are kind of like Planeswalker deck level. And actually, there's no Planeswalkers. So these are very simple decks. There's a lot of tribal elements and such. So you could use this to teach somebody new to play. So if you have a friend that never played, you could pull them in, and I think they would be just fine, which is pretty nice too. But like I said, I think this is going to be more fun if you have a bunch of people that used to play that are just looking for a way to get together and play quickly. Okay, so what do you get? 5 pre-constructed decks, 1 of each color with all the accessories you need to play the decks. Spin down life counters, life counter platforms, +1/+1 counters, and 5 reference cards. This will come out November 16th. Retail price is $39.99. Now we're going to move on to the deck list, but there's 5 unique cards. Each deck actually has a brand new card in it, but there's a difference between this and the last product. These cards are not standard legal, so just because they're in this product does not mean you can play them in standard. So the 5 unique cards will not be standard legal, and anything that is a reprint that is not currently in standard, you won't be able to play in standard. So a little bit different from the gift pack. Keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to the deck list, starting with the white deck, and we'll begin with the brand new card that you get. It's Militant Angel. 1 copy. All the new cards will be designated as mythics. 2 white and 3. It's an angel, 3/4, flying lifelink. When this enters the battlefield, create a number of 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the number of opponents you attack this turn. That's a common thread between all 5 of these cards. They in some way will care about your opponents. This time you actually have to attack them. Sometimes they'll just care how many opponents you have. So, I don't know, it's an interesting twist, but it's not super powerful or anything like that. Now, a 3/4 flying lifelink for 5 with the ability that maybe you can make some 2/2s. Yeah, kind of underwhelming, quite honestly. Alright, let's look at the rest of the deck. These are all reprints, and the photos of the cards you're going to see are recent printings of them. Also important to note, the cards in this product that are from Magic 2019 will have the Magic 2019 expansion symbol on them, so it'll be kind of like they're just from that set. However, all the cards outside of Magic 2019 will have the Magic Game Night expansion that we just saw on the previous card. Alright, for creatures, we have a copy of Aerial Responder, copy of Benalish Marshal, 2 Dwarven Priest, copy of Everdawn Champion, 2 Fanbearer, 2 Gallant Cavalry, 2 Inspiring Captain, copy of Mentor of the Meek, that's kind of nice, 2 copies of Mesa Unicorn, 3 copies of Militia Bugler, a card that's seeing a lot of play in the Modern Humans deck, so it's kind of nice that they're printing this in here. 2 copies of Pegasus Courser. 2 copies of Sarah Angel, so an old card that everyone at the table will remember. 1 copy of Subjugator Angel. A copy of Valiant Knight. Let's move to the sorceries. 2 Call of the Cavalry. A copy of Cleansing Nova that has seen some sideboard play in Standard. And we get 1 instant, but it's 2 copies of Bright Reprisal. Enchantments. A copy of Always Watching. A copy of Hieromancer's Cage. 2 Knightly Valor. 2 copies of Luminous Bonds. And for lands, you get 25 planes. Alright, let's move to the blue deck with a new card. It's Inspired Sphinx. 2 blue, 5, Sphinx, 5/5, flying. When this enters the battlefield, draw a card equal to the number of opponents you have. Pay a blue and 3, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. This is actually my favorite out of all 5 of these. First off, card draw is never a bad thing. I do like that. Even with just 1 opponent, it's replacing itself, so that's cool. And the mana sink that lets you make 1/1 flyers, that's not bad at all for a blue and 3. This is definitely the strongest of the 5 new cards. We'll move on to the reprints for creatures. Advanced Stitchwing. 2 Air Elementals. 2 Aviation Pioneer. A copy of Gearsmith Prodigy. Copy of Reckless Scholar. A copy of Psy Master Thopterist, seeing some play out of sideboards and Ironworks combo in Modern right now. 2 Scholar of Stars. 2 Skilled Animator. A copy of Soulblade Djinn. 2 copies of Wall of Mist. 2 Whirler Rogue. 1 Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp. That's actually kind of cool too. 2 copies of Gearsmith Guardian. 2 Pilgrim's Eye. 2 Skyscanner. 2 Snare Thopter. And for sorceries, a copy of Switcheroo. Copy of One with the Machine. Just 1 instant. A copy of Hydrolash. Enchantments. 2 copies of Claustrophobia. 2 copies of Favorable Winds. A copy of Metamorphic Alteration. Land. 25 copies of Island. Alright, the black deck. Here's your new card. Rot Hulk. 2 black and 5. It's a zombie 5/5 menace. When this enters the battlefield, return up to X target zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have. This might be okay in a zombie commander build, especially if you have a lot of opponents. You get some value out of this for 7 mana. Again, nothing crazy, but it's okay. Alright, reprint time. Creatures. A copy of Death Baron. 2 Doom Dissenter. Copy of Fleshbag Marauder. Copy of Gravedigger. Graveyard Marshal, 1 copy. 2 copies of Infectious Horror. 2 Lord of the Accursed. Some of these are interesting too, because if you're a fan of zombies, and when we get to red goblins, there's some good tribal cards here. 2 copies of Reassembling Skeleton. 2 copies of Stitcher's Supplier, a card that's actually seen some Modern and Legacy play, most notably right now in that Vegevine deck in Modern that's very popular. 2 copies of Tattered Mummy. 2 Thalid Soothsayer. 2 Zelport Cutthroat. 2 copies of Filigree Familiar. Sorceries. 2 Blood Divination. A Bone Splinters. Gruesome Fate, 1 copy. Copy of Languish. Instance. 2 Cruel Revival. 3 copies of Murder. Enchantments. Copy of Liliana's Mastery. Copy of Open the Graves. For land, you guessed it, 25 copies of Swamp. Okay, let's move to red. Your new card is Goblin Goliath. 2 red and 4. It's a Goblin Mutant 5/4. When this enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. Pay a red and 3 and tap. If a source would deal damage to an opponent this turn, it deals double that damage to that player instead. Kind of sad that this taps. Like, if I could use it as a mana sink and maybe amplify damage for a couple creatures or something like that, that could be an interesting turn for me. Yeah, sure, I could have an X spell and have a big play with this from time to time, no doubt, maybe in Commander, but it feels a little narrow. If I could amplify other people's stuff, that would have helped too to hit an opponent, but it is a source that I control, so that's kind of annoying too. Overall, like I said, nothing really great here, but maybe playable. Let's look at the reprints with creatures. Captivating Crew, 1 copy. 1 copy of Demanding Dragon. This has seen standard play, and I think we'll see more post-rotation. 2 copies Goblin Instigator. A copy of Goblin Motivator. 2 copies of Goblin Trashmaster. 2 copies Gutter Snipe. 1 copy Havoc Devils. A copy of Seismic Elemental. Copy of Shivan Dragon, another classic card everyone will recognize. Copy of Siege Gang Commander. 2 copies Volley Veteran. 2 Eager Construct. 2 Howling Golem. 2 Welder Automaton. Sorceries. Act of Treason, 1 copy. 2 Dragon Fodder. 2 Rolling Thunder. 2 Tormenting Voice. Instants. 2 Bombard. 3 copies of Shock. A copy of Trumpet Blast. Lands. 25 Mountains. Alright, finally the green deck. Let's look at the last new card. It's Avatar of Growth. 2 green and 4, 4/4 Elemental Avatar. It costs 1 less for each opponent you have. This also has Trample. When this enters the battlefield, each player searches their library for up to 2 basic land cards, puts them on the battlefield, and shuffles. If I have 4 living opponents and I pay 2 for this, that's not bad for a 4/4 Trample creature. But this quickly kind of gets bad as the game goes on and people start dropping out, or if you're not playing with 4 people to begin with, right? Now, the other piece of it, being able to search up some lands, and of course it's a reciprocal effect, this deck will like that better than the other decks out of the box because there's more opportunities to ramp into big things here. So it's got that going for it, but again, not an amazing card probably outside this deck. Creatures for reprints. 2 copies of, you guessed it, Colossal Dreadmaw, because you can't play Magic without Colossal Dreadmaw. 2 Elvish Rejuvenator. A copy of Ghalta Primal Hunger, very good card for Commander as well as Standard. 2 copies of Gaspark Twins. 2 Giant Spider. 1 copy of Gigantosaurus. A copy of Goreclaw, Terror of Quelsisma. Jungle Delver, a copy. 3 copies of Llanowar Elves, that's pretty good. Pelakka Worm, can be a powerful card, you get a copy of that. Reclamation Sage, fantastic card in a lot of formats, 1 copy. 2 copies of Threshing Brontodon, has seen plenty of standard play. Copy of Vigilant Baloth. 2 Eager Construct. 2 Howling Golem. Sorceries. A copy of Nissa's Revelation. A copy of Overcome. 3 copies of Rabid Bite. 2 copies of Seek the Wild. Enchantment, just 1. It's a copy of Talons of the Wildwood. Artifacts. You get a Manolith, 1 copy, and a copy of Ronus's Monuments. Land, you probably guessed by now, 25 copies of Forest. Okay, so that's the product. Now, the price point, $39.99, I feel is a little high. I mean, you're getting a lot here, but the cards don't have a ton of value. The new cards aren't very exciting. Now, like I said at the top of the video, if I'm somebody that wants a product like this to play with friends, I'll probably pay the $40 and not really worry about the value that's contained within the box. If I'm a player that's concerned about value for what I'm putting my money in, stay away from this product because it's not going to be great for you in that capacity by any means. So, with that being said, this is a very narrow product. Again, it might be a nice gift for somebody, especially if maybe they used to play Magic and are looking for a way to get back into the game or just play casually and not have to worry about buying booster packs and stuff like that. So there is a market for this, but I do think it's relatively narrow. Alright, with that being said, these are the new casual products that are coming. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on them. I like casual products generally, even though I don't always feel like they do their best when it comes to the contents they put in these all the time. I do like that they exist because it is important to get new players into the game, or else we won't have the game in a few years if everybody starts to trail off and we don't get new people involved. So these are critical to the success and long-term viability of Magic. I just kind of wish they'd put a little more value in there when they can anyway. So until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.